When I think back on the extraordinary journey that became Led Zeppelin, the memories don't come to me like a list of achievements or chart milestones. They rise up like a river of light and sound, a kaleidoscope of nights where passion, fearlessness, and musical discovery collided. What made Led Zeppelin unforgettable wasn't just the riffs or the thunderous rhythms, though those were seismic. What made it real, what made it live inside people's hearts as something alive and breathing, was the way those moments felt like discovery, like we were inventing something that had never existed before. I remember our rehearsals in the earliest days when Jimmy Page first suggested we take these fragments of blues, folk, and rock and smash them together until something larger than all of them emerged. It was intoxicating. There was a hunger in all of us, a refusal to accept boundaries. I loved singing, that feeling of losing yourself in a song until you're not sure where you end and the music begins. But the best part wasn't just singing. It was the alchemy of those nights when we tried new sounds, stretched ourselves beyond what we thought we could do, and felt the electricity between us crackle like wildfire. Some people think of Led Zeppelin and immediately hear the big stadium anthems, the songs that became almost too famous to believe. But for me, the best part was the unseen hours in smoky rehearsal rooms, laughing at mistakes, arguing over who hit that drum beat harder, trying ideas that seemed ridiculous then but would later become some of our signature sounds. There was a thrill in the uncertainty. The way creativity felt like diving off a cliff without knowing if there was water below, but doing it anyway because you trusted your bandmates and you trusted that raw spark inside you. And then there were the tours, the planes, the roaring crowds. That was something else entirely. Standing on a stage in front of thousands of faces believing you can do magic with a guitar and a voice. It's a sensation that changes you. But even then, the best part wasn't the applause. It was the connection you felt with people you've never met. Their hands reaching out in the dark, their voices singing back every note, as if those songs were theirs as much as ours. That's where the magic truly lived, in that collective breath between performer and audience, the invisible moment when music becomes a shared heartbeat. People often ask about the creative chemistry between the band. Jimmy Page with his almost mystical approach to sound, John Bonham with the force of his drumming like a rolling thunderstorm, John Paul Jones with his quiet brilliance that seemed to anchor every song, and me trying to ride the waves with my voice. We were a strange alchemy of personalities. But what made it work was a deep, unspoken trust. We weren't just playing music, we were discovering ourselves through each song, through each night. We listened to each other as much as we listened to the music itself. And the best part of all that, for me, was learning that the most powerful music is born when you let go of ego and let the sound take over. There were moments of pure transcendence that I still close my eyes and revisit. Times when a crowd went silent because they were holding their breath, waiting for the next chord, or a night when everything just clicked. The instruments, the voices, the energy in the room. And there were moments of chaos and confusion. 2 nights when flights were late, tensions were high, when exhaustion ate at your bones and the idea of another performance felt like a mountain you couldn't climb. But even those rough patches taught us something about resilience, about holding on to that core belief that what we were doing had meaning. The beauty of it wasn't just in perfection, but in the sweat and madness that made each triumph feel all the sweeter. In the studio, the best part was the experimentation. We'd try unconventional instruments, strange tunings, rhythms that didn't make sense at first. Some of the most haunting and powerful pieces we recorded were born out of just messing around, letting intuition lead the way. Recordings that seemed chaotic at first would become layered with meaning as we stepped back and listened again. Some nights ended with laughter, others with tired silence, but every one of them mattered because they became the DNA of our sound. Fans sometimes picture success as bright lights and sold-out shows, and they're not wrong. Those things were thrilling. But for me, the best moments were always quieter, internal. They were the split-second decisions where you choose to push a melody further, to take a vocal higher, to stay up all night tweaking a sound until it feels like it's speaking in its own voice. It's the inner journey that transforms music into something that resonates not just in speakers, but in people's souls. That's the part of Led Zeppelin that I carry with me most vividly. I remember standing backstage, just before stepping into the floodlights, hearing the murmur of anticipation. From an ocean of people packed into arenas I couldn't even see yet, there was a peculiar peace in those seconds, the heartbeat before the madness. And that calm, that sense that something monumental was about to unfold, was deeply intoxicating. I wasn't thinking about fame or legacy then. I wasn't worried about how we'd be remembered. I was simply present in that electric moment between silence and sound, between breath and scream. That was perhaps the purest feeling. When creation itself was happening, live in real time, and every one of us in that room was a witness to it. Looking back now, decades later, I can feel that energy as clearly as ever. It wasn't just about the music we made, but the way we made it, the landscape of human emotion that we explored through every chord and every word. The best part of Led Zeppelin was the invitation to go beyond the ordinary, to reach for something that defied explanation, something that could only be understood by feeling it. It was not just a band, but a journey, a ride that transformed not only the world of music, but each one of us inside it.